All right, beautiful people. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked for this call. Courtney Sjoberg has agreed to do an Instagram masterclass for us. And for anybody who doesn't yet have the pleasure of knowing Courtney, you are about to have your minds blown. I promise. Courtney is like what do you call yourself? The fairy godmother of hashtags?
Yeah, I call myself the hashtag fairy godmother.
She is magic. She like her shtick is hashtags, and you guys are gonna want to take notes. So if you don't already have a pen and a piece of paper or something to write notes on, get it out ASAP because she's about to drop some bombs. They're gonna up your Instagram growth, engagement, enjoyment, and etc. So, Court, I'm going to mute myself. I'll let you do your spiel, and then I'm sure there'll be a little bit of time at the end for questions. There's no cap on the timing of the call, so whatever you need, you go for.
Perfect. Yay. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me. Before I dive in, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or at the end if you want to like talk and ask me whatever you guys want to do. I'm going to take these off because I feel like all I can see is my screen and it's bothering me. Good thing I don't really need those to see. Those are just blue light glasses. So I am going to jump in. So yeah, if you guys have questions, type them in the chat or wait till the end. I'm here to serve and help you guys however I possibly can. So let me share my screen because I'm fancy and I have a slideshow. This is actually my third time teaching this class in 24 hours, which is really funny. Okay, so can everybody see my screen? Can you give me a thumbs up if you guys can see it? Okay, perfect. Cool. So today's training is about Instagram. So we're going to talk about how my clients and I get around 20 plus qualifying, which is the keyword, which you'll hear me say that a lot, leads from Instagram every single day. So I guess let's just dive on in. So there's me, my cute little, I love that picture of me. My name is Courtney Sjoberg. My last name, I sounded it out over there for you because everybody says it wrong, which I don't really care. It's not big. You can call me hashtag queen. That's fine. That's easier. I am a social media and visibility strategist, and I specialize in organic social media. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Facebook ads and all the paid social media stuff, which does work. But what the cool thing is what I teach is it's free. Like everything that I'm going to teach you today, you can implement starting today. Like it's really easy once you learn. There's a lot of information. I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's not because that would be a lie. There's a lot of information, but it's not hard. It's just a matter of once you process it and implement it, it's going to be a lot easier for you. So I specialize in organic social media. Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest are my jam. They're my specialty. And I consider hashtag and organic growth to be my superpowers. I have been in the online space for 5 years, but I've been actually an entrepreneur for 10 years. I started as a nanny, and I know a lot of people are like, that doesn't sound like an entrepreneur, but I actually typed up my first contract to work with a client as a nanny on Word. I remember I was 19 and I convinced this family to pay me $200 a week no matter what, even if they didn't need me. And they didn't. They signed the contract and I've kind of just went with it ever since then. So in the last year alone, I dropped out of college to pursue my passion, which is online marketing, and I became a social media manager. That's a picture of me and my boyfriend and my dog, which, by the way, you might hear her bark. So sorry about that because we live in a really teeny tiny 400 square foot apartment and everybody's everywhere together all the time. So basically, I was going to college and we moved here for me to go to a 4-year college. I live in Portland, Oregon, in the United States. And I got fired from my job and decided, screw college. I want to try to do something different. I never really wanted to go. I was kind of just going because I had a negative money belief that I needed to go in order to make real money. But once I dropped out, I started working for somebody as a social media manager, and I helped grow their Facebook group and Instagram organically to a combined of over 70,000 people. So that's when I really started to realize, like, okay, I think I'm kind of good at this now. Like, maybe I should do this by myself. And I actually got offered to work for that person as a full-time employee for $80,000 a year, which for me was such a big moment, because after believing for so long that I needed to go to college in order to have like an opportunity like that, and then get offered that job after dropping out of college and working for this person in less than 6 months, it was huge. But I decided, like a crazy person, to turn it down and do my own thing. And since then, I have 5x my income in my first year as a full-time boss babe by just using organic social media. And I've made well over the 80,000 that she had offered me. So I feel pretty proud about that, because not going to lie, when I made that decision, I wasn't really sure if it was the right one. But I was able to retire my boyfriend to work full-time in our business. And I help my clients generate 20 plus qualifying leads through Instagram alone per day. And so when I say qualifying leads, which you'll hear me say a lot throughout this presentation, if you will, basically you can get leads all day long, but if they're not interested in what you have to sell, then they're not a qualifying lead. And I think that's the thing where I differentiate than a lot of other people on social media, is they're just about quality, or quantity, and I'm about quality. I don't necessarily want you to get 100 new followers. I'd rather have you get 5 who actually purchase. And I think that's the biggest difference from what I do versus what a lot of other people do. So, but you can do it too. You guys might have felt one or all of these things. Maybe you feel like Instagram and hashtags attract a lot of spam accounts. Maybe you feel like you have a lot of follows and unfollows. Maybe you feel like you're taking the time to craft your captions, edit your photos, but when it comes to hashtags, you kind of just throw them together because you don't know what to do. Maybe you don't know if the hashtags you are using are actually working or not, or you feel like your current hashtags are constantly attracting your competition and not actually your ideal clients, which I hear a lot in like the Beachbody and some of the MLM communities. They feel like I'm only attracting other people that are already on a team and that are already purchased what I sell, and I want new people who are interested. Or maybe you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort, but not really getting a lot in return on Instagram. So we're going to talk all about all of that. So we're going to unleash your Instagram badass. So are you guys ready? We're going to uncover the top 10 Instagram hashtag myths that are holding you back from Instagram success. So we're going to bust through all of your Instagram limiting beliefs. We're going to stop feeling so confused about hashtags and how they work. And I'm going to show you guys how hashtags can single-handedly blow up your Instagram account. And then learn how to make hashtags and organic social media work for you. So yay, I'm so excited. This is so fun. Like attracts like. Yes, so true. PowerPoint. Thank you. I'm like such a PowerPoint person. It's not even funny. And then like I have this cute little template now that I made. So whenever I have to do another one, I just like copy the whole thing because, you know, we want to be efficient around here, right? Okay, so what are we going to cover? So the 10 Instagram hashtag myths. Say that 10 times fast. We're going to bust. So number 1, we're going to talk about what size hashtags are the best for Instagram growth. Number 2, we're going to talk about where do hashtags actually work on your profile. Number 3, we're going to talk about what kind of profile you need for hashtags to actually work. 4, how long are hashtags actually good for growth? 5, how many hashtags should you be using on each post? 6, how to avoid spammy and follow/unfollow accounts as much as we possibly can with hashtags. 7, which is probably the most important, and like if you learn anything from any of this, number 7 would be the thing that I would want you all to take away, which is like what is a banned hashtag and how to avoid it, because it could really negatively affect your account. Number 8, what social media platforms do hashtags actually work on? Number 9, what time is the best for posting hashtags? And number 10, how many hashtags should you be using a month for optimized Instagram growth? So I'm gonna leave this here for a second. You guys can, if you are writing it down, let me take a drink. Oh man, I've talked so much today. I'm kind of overhearing my own voice, but I'm glad you guys are learning something.
Your voice is beautiful. Just, you do you, boo.
Thank you. I was sick for like a week. And so like, I feel like still phlegmy. It's really gross. Sorry, that's probably too TMI, but whatever. Okay, so stick around to the end because I actually put together, me and Marie put something together for you guys that's special that we don't have anywhere else. Actually, I don't even think I told you, Marie. I threw in a little bonus there. That is going to be at the very end. So you guys will hear all about it at the end. Okay, so number one, the bigger the hashtag, the bigger the reach. So this is false. All hashtags are not created equally. So basically, all hashtags on Instagram have a specific number of uses. And this number only dictates how many times it's been used, not your actual potential reach. So as you can see in the photo on the right, hashtag dog mom, because everything I follow on Instagram has to do with dogs. The circled red shows 4.1 million posts. So that means that this has been used 4.1 million times by public profiles. And a lot of people think that when you find a hashtag that's really big, that you have the opportunity to be seen by more people. And this isn't true because when you use hashtags that are really, really, really big, it can instantly bury you and your photos and put you into what I like to call the Instagram black hole. So instead of aiming for these giant hashtags, I tell everybody to try to go for the smaller and more niche hashtags. So anything from 10,000 to 500,000 uses is usually the sweet spot. So I'm going to show you on my phone. Speaking of dogs, you got a little scratch there, Pose. I'm going to pull up so I can actually show you guys in real life what I mean by the hashtag black hole. Okay, so if you go to hashtag dogs, I'm just going to use that one because it's even bigger. This one has oh my God, so many cute pictures though, 74.8 million. So you can see, hold on, let me see if will it focus? Please focus. Okay, well, it's not going to focus, but you can kind of see so let's just focus on, oh shoot, not that one. Okay, see these photos? We've been on this page, for like 30 seconds. If I refresh this, all those photos already, oops, it's already down to here. So then if we refresh it again, and basically what is this? This is the Instagram black hole. The more hashtags uses that it has, the more people that are using it. And so when you go to the recent tab, this is on the recent tab. Sorry, it's not focusing for whatever reason, probably because it's nighttime. Actually, maybe if I make my phone a little less bright, that might be better. But the recent tab is obviously what that sounds like, the recent photos. And so because there's so many people using them, that means that your photo, if you use this hashtag, is just getting dropped down on the list every single time someone else uploads something. Now, the top post is a little bit different, but in order to rank on the top post, you have to get engagement really quick. And so instead of hoping that you land in the top posts and potentially not landing in there, if you use hashtags that are 10,000 to 500,000, you usually always land on the top posts and show up in the recent for a lot longer period of time, because Instagram content tends to die after 24 hours. And so you really truly only have 24 hours to capture your audience and to get people to notice you. And so when you use the big giant hashtags, it can kind of interrupt that. So that's when the 10,000 to 500,000 comes in handy. Okay, so myth number 2, you have to put your hashtags in the caption to work. So this is false. So I've heard a lot of really like big Instagrammers and people tell other people that it doesn't work if you put your hashtags in the first comment, and this is completely false. Where you put your hashtags is preference. I put my hashtags wherever the hell I want. I tend to usually put them in the first comment because I think it looks less spammy and more like clean. Or simply because sometimes I write really long captions and I run out of space and I don't want to use that for my 30 captions, right? And so a lot of people, especially people, if you see them constantly putting them in the caption, it's because maybe if they're using a scheduler, an Instagram scheduler for their content, doesn't allow them to schedule a first comment, so they have to put it in the caption. So really, at the end of the day, wherever you want to post it is totally fine. And don't let someone else make you feel scared, because Instagram works exactly the same way no matter which one you put them in. Okay, number 3. Hashtags work on all profiles. Again, false. If your profile is private, no one can discover you. So hopefully all of you guys have business profiles. I know there's a lot of talk right now of like having a personal profile, you can get discovered more or better engagement, but then you can't see stats. And so to me, it's important to see your stats so you can see what your growth is, you can see your target market if you're hitting it, all those different things. Plus, if you have a business profile, it's going to be public. It's really important that you guys check this, because I have helped thousands of people with hashtags, and I've only ever had 2 complaints. And one of the 2 complaints, she said that her hashtags weren't working. And I was like, whoa, let's look into this, because, you know, it should be working. Let me look. So she gave me her Instagram profile, and I went to it, and sure enough, her profile was private. And she didn't even know, because it doesn't look private on your end. So it's really easy to actually check. If you go to your browser on your computer or even on your phone, and you just type in www.instagram.com/ whatever your username is. So for me, it would be the Courtney Sjoberg. As long as you're logged out, make sure you log out first. You should be able, it will pop up. And if you can see all your pictures and you're logged out, then your profile is public. If you can't see your pictures and it says you have to request, then your profile is private, and all you have to do is go into your settings and change it. But if your profile is private, the reason hashtags don't work is because Instagram wants to respect your privacy. So hashtags technically work on a private profile, but only by people who already follow you. So if you follows you and they go click on that hashtag, of course you're going to show up because you guys are already friends. But that's not the point of hashtags. The point of hashtags is to connect with new people. And so you want to have a public profile. So just promise me you guys are going to go check your profiles tonight just to make sure that your profiles are public. I like to just put it on my account, because after that I was like scared, because I was like, that would be detrimental to my Instagram growth if I accidentally like clicked a button, because, you know, I'm a klutz. I'm not really good with tech. That's why I have Joe. So just put it on your calendar to check every couple of months to make sure, just to be safe. You should be fine. But after she had that, I was like, okay, I'm going to check mine on a regular basis. All right. Myth number 4. Hashtags don't expire or stop working, which is false. And this kind of goes back to myth number 1. Once a hashtag goes over that 500,000 threshold, your chances of being seen goes down so much. And like I said, you can end up in the Instagram black hole. So what a lot of people don't realize is that a hashtag can go over 500,000 literally overnight. And my best example of this is like hashtag New Year's Eve 2019. If we were to look on that on Instagram right now, it would probably have like barely any uses, because it hasn't been New Year's Eve 2019 yet. But if you were to go check that hashtag now and then check it again the day after New Year's, it could potentially have 1 billion uses, because there's 1 billion people on Instagram. And so that just goes to show how the night before New Year's Eve, it didn't have that many, and the night after, it was huge. Because if a hashtag catches wind with a lot of people, more people start to use it, then it's going to grow really, really fast. So the best way to avoid this is to research and check your hashtags regularly. So what I do is I keep like a Google Doc or a spreadsheet, or even in my notes if I'm really lazy, and I will just go and check my hashtags on a regular basis, because that way I can stay on top of how many uses does it have, how many uses until I consider it expired. And then also, which we're going to learn in number 7, is it banned or not, which is even more important. A retired hashtag won't hurt your account. A banned hashtag will. But a retired hashtag will limit your opportunity to be seen by your ideal client. All right, number 5. Yeah, I know. I'm so yay! Oh my gosh, Stacy, I'm so glad you checked. Yay! Okay, I'm so glad that at first when I put that in here as a myth, I was like, that's kind of lame. People might already know that, but there we go. That is literal proof that I needed to put that in there. So thank you for telling me, Stacy, because that just made my life so good. Okay, myth number 5. Using too many hashtags can hurt your growth. So the other day, I literally had someone ask me, or no, I don't know if it was a question or a statement. I don't really remember because I have so many people saying things to me every single day on social media. But they said basically along the lines that their coach, business coach, I don't know what kind of coach it was, told them that when they use 30 hashtags, they look desperate and they look like an amateur. And I literally just laughed out loud because it has been proven that when you use 30 hashtags, which is the maximum allowed on a post, your chances of reach and increased organic engagement, it goes up by 135%. So that is all the proof that you need that you should use 30 every single time. I consider each hashtag an opportunity because of the fact that Instagram only limits you to 30. You get 30 opportunities on every single photo that you ever post to reach a certain amount of people. With that being said, I know that there's loopholes to be able to write like 30 or like 60 hashtags. I don't know how it goes because I've never looked into that, but please don't do that because Instagram is owned by Instagram. So we could be doing all this work, building up our profiles, and you literally can wake up tomorrow and your whole profile could be deleted, which would be terrible, obviously. But if you follow Instagram's terms of service and you don't use bots and you don't find loopholes, they have no reason to delete you. As long as you're posting like family-friendly content that's not gross, nasty pictures and you're not spamming anybody, like there's no reason that they would delete you. With that being said, though, I definitely recommend all of you create some sort of freebie where you can capture leads in an email. So in case of your Instagram was to get deleted, if you try to grab everybody's email, whoever follows you, then that way, if it was to get deleted, you could send out a mass email saying, oh my God, my Instagram got deleted. Come check out my new profile at this link. But using a lot of hashtags, meaning 30, you don't look desperate. It doesn't hurt your growth. It actually helps your growth. And it gets you to be seen by a lot more people, which, like I said, who doesn't want more opportunities to make more money and help and serve others? Duh. Okay. Stacy, you're switch it back to public? Because it shouldn't be scary, I promise. All right. Yeah, some might put you in the black hole, but that's okay. You're learning today. That's all that matters, right? All we can do is learn. Okay, number 6. All right. Using hashtags only attract spammy accounts. So this is false. But this is actually like a true false because hashtags aren't the only way for like follow, unfollow, and bots. A lot of bots come from hashtags, but a lot of bots also come from like, let's say you follow a big account. Bots can be set up to target people who follow certain people, but usually just tends to be really big accounts. It really breaks my heart because I see a lot of people like post screenshots and they're like, oh my gosh, not to call this person out or anything, but James Wedmore followed me. And I'm like, oh, honey, just check in like 7 days and he's going to unfollow you because it's a bot, which actually really pisses me off because he's supposed to be like a marketing guru. Like, why are you using bots? That means that whatever you're doing is not working. But just be aware of that kind of stuff. And then also don't get mad. Like it's not worth your energy to get mad at. I see so many people getting mad at the follow and follow. If, the way that the universe works is if you focus on something, that's what you're going to have more in your life. So if you're just focused on follow and follow, you're just going to attract a lot of follow and follow. I am probably the only person that you'll ever hear say this, but I like when people unfollow me because when people unfollow me, that means they don't spit it out, Courtney. They don't like my content. which if they don't like my content, they're not engaging. And so they're just sitting there as a number, not engaging. It's dropping my engagement. And I don't want that. I want people to comment. I want people to like. I want people to engage with me. And so if you're not digging me, it's not a big deal. I'm not gonna be mad at you. Just like move along and go find. That's why there's a million other Instagram coaches out there and social media people. But when it comes to hashtags and tracking spammy accounts, if you just check your hashtags, each and every single one on a regular basis, you can avoid this. Because one, you're going to stay under that 500,000 threshold, right? Because a lot of the follow, unfollow, and spammy account stuff comes from 1 million plus uses. Because they don't know what I'm teaching you. They think that if they use a really big hashtag, they're going to get seen by a bunch of people. But if they only knew that by using smaller, and I hope they never find that out because that would ruin everything, but if they knew that they use smaller, more niche hashtags, they could actually potentially reach more people. So if you just stick to that research, and then also too, like when you go to, it's funny because like even if you just go to like hashtag dog, like you'll notice that like 90% of the hashtags sometimes aren't even dogs. It's just because people are just trying to be seen. A really good way to know if it's a good hashtag or a bad hashtag is when you go to the hashtag, is it actually what the hashtag's about? So like, for example, because I'm obsessed with chocolate Labradors, I follow like every chocolate lab account on the internet. And when I go check chocolate lab hashtags, they are all chocolate labs, like hundreds, which is like my favorite place to be. Let's just be real. But there's like thousands of pictures of chocolate lab puppies. And that means it's a good hashtag if you're posting about a chocolate lab. Same thing for health and fitness. If you're going somewhere and it doesn't look like, if it's just like random pictures of fashion, it's probably not going to be a good hashtag. So check your hashtags, check the numbers, but also scroll through and see, like, do these posts have to do with what I'm wanting to post about? And if the answer is no, it's probably not a good hashtag. All right. Okay, let's see. Number 7. Okay, so this is the one that I'm like, please, if anything, learn this. Okay. The myth is that only X-rated hashtags are banned on Instagram. So, yes, of course, hashtags like ass, titties, boobs, penis, like the nasty stuff are definitely banned. But there are over, and this stat was from January, so it's almost been a year. There are over 110,000 plus banned hashtags on Instagram. Hashtags like Snapchat, Easter, and beauty blogger are all banned. And the reason is because just what I was talking about. These nasty porn accounts, or not just porn, but like just anybody that's trying to scam somebody, the cash scams, whatever, they think that if they use these big hashtags, they can get seen by more people. And then they flood these hashtags. And so then Instagram, to cover their ass and to try to limit, because there's 1 billion people on Instagram. So obviously Instagram doesn't have nearly enough employees to be able to manage that. So they have to use algorithms and bots of their own. And so they ban these hashtags. But the problem with banned hashtags, if you're using it on purpose or on accident, it doesn't matter, because just using one banned hashtag can make all of your other hashtags stop working. And the reason is because just what I said, there's 1 billion people on Instagram, and if everybody posts once a day, that's a lot of posts. And you know that there's people out there that post like 7 times a day. So that's a lot of posts coming, unfortunately, that post 7 times a day. I don't understand that. I don't have enough stuff to, 7 Instagram stories, it's different. But 7 feed posts, I don't even know where I would I'd run out of things to say. But the reason that it makes your other hashtags stop working is because it's Instagram's way of kind of controlling the nasty content by using their algorithm. So basically what they do is they recognize people who use a bad hashtag, and then they just assume that they're nasty and using bad stuff. So they make all the other ones stop working so that they don't have to go in and research all the other ones. So it's kind of their way of maintaining something. So the crappy part is if you're just using hashtags without researching them and you accidentally use a banned one like Snapchat or Easter, it'll make your other ones stop working because Instagram will think that you're trying to post gross stuff even if you're not. So the best way to avoid this, again, is just to research your hashtags. Just look them up on a regular basis. I tell everybody to research your hashtags at a minimum once a month. So as you can see in the picture, Snapchat, so it says 47.3 million posts. So if you go to the top posts, it doesn't look like this. So you have to make sure you click on recent. And when you click on recent, the message that says right there is recent posts from hashtag Snapchat are currently hidden because the community has reported some content that may not meet Instagram's community guidelines. So that's basically just saying that there's people breaking the rules. And so instead of trying to go through and delete people on a regular basis, they just ban the entire hashtag. And that's why sometimes, not often, but sometimes they'll bring hashtags back to life. Like if a hashtag goes banned, sometimes Instagram will clean it out and bring it back to life. But I don't know, once it's banned, I just like don't even want to mess with it because they can ban it again. So and like I said, if you stick with the smaller hashtags, you're going to be in the clear. You just have to make sure you check them. So a couple ways to know if a hashtag is banned. So as you can see on this, it has the follow button for a hashtag. This is the dog one. And on this picture, Snapchat doesn't have follow. So usually if you're not able to follow a hashtag, it's probably not a good hashtag. So that's like flag number one. Flag number two, obviously, is this message. So even if I type in beauty blogger, which, like, when the first time I taught this class, people were like, beauty blogger? Snapchat? I'm like, yeah, because people just want to take advantage of it. Okay, so hashtag beauty blogger. So if you are in the top posts, it looks like this. But if you click recent, it has that message. So it's really easy to see. Another way is sometimes when you go to type in a hashtag, it doesn't show up in the search like as an option. That could mean that it's banned. Sometimes it can show in the recent like 3 photos, 6 photos, or 9 photos, and then it has this message below it. So just do your research and you can easily be able to tell if it's banned or not. But this is probably the most important thing because if you have been using a banned hashtag, it's affecting all your good ones. So just a little note, if after we get off this call, you guys go check your hashtags and you're like, oh shit, I've been using a banned hashtag, don't freak out. You're going to be fine. Just delete all your hashtags for the last 7 days that you used it. Or not even that you used it, just the last 7 days. Don't feel like you have to go through to the beginning of time and check all your hashtags because you don't have to do that. Because like I said, because Instagram content tends to die after 24 hours. So there's no need to go back months and months and months. But go through, delete any hashtags that were banned. And then if you were using them regularly, just take like a 7-day break from Instagram. Don't post stories, don't comment on anybody's stuff. Just really like try to like reset the algorithm. And then when you come back, and then what I always tell my clients is take that time to research good hashtags. So when you do come back, you have a strategy and you're ready to go and you know you're never going to run into that problem again. So it should be pretty easy. Yeah.
So funny because you and I talked about this last week, right? I was like, what is with my reach? Like my Instagram was being so funny. All of a sudden I had like 50 likes on a post when I'm used to like 300 or 400, with the following that I have right now. So I took a whole weekend off social media, not because of this, for some refresh and recharge. Took the whole weekend off social media and Monday put up a post, boom, engagement is back to normal. So like,
sometimes it's just, you need to like a refresh too. Cause cause sometimes it's not even just hashtags. It's just mentality. Cause we get caught up in that space of like, I had my girlfriend, I told her to do the same thing. I was like, just take a week off. And like in that week, I promise you'll like feel a lot better. And then, sure enough, she came back and she was like the same thing. So I'm glad that you were able to do that. Oh my God, do not look at Snapchat. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Don't look because there's some really disgusting stuff on there. Oh my gosh. Okay. So just be careful with this, like I said, ban hashtags. It's just because it can hurt all your other hashtags. It's like, if you're going to put in the effort, like you want them to work. All right. Myth number 8, hashtags work on all profiles. This is false. So as of today, what is today? Like the 6th, November 6th, 2018, hashtags do work on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube, and they don't work on Facebook. I think they also just started working on LinkedIn. I think someone told me that literally today, so I need to add that. But the thing is, they work differently on every single platform. So what I'm teaching you today is specific to Instagram. But if you wanted to use hashtags on Twitter or Pinterest or YouTube, you totally could, but just make sure you do your research on those. Just like a rule of thumb from what I know, because I hate Twitter. My boyfriend lives for Twitter. I hate Twitter. He's tweeted like 20,000 times. I'm like, I don't even, and it's so funny because he's like the most shy person in the whole world. But for Twitter and Instagram, they tend to be similar where it's more niche hashtags. But for Pinterest and YouTube, it tends to be the bigger the hashtag, the better. So all that spiel that I gave you about the 10,000 to 500,000 only applies to Instagram. And I guess I could say it kind of applies to Twitter, but I'm not going to say, because I don't know, I haven't really spent much time on Twitter, so I don't want to teach on that. But I do know that they work different on every single platform. So just make sure that if you're going to use hashtags, do the research. And like I said, they don't work on Facebook as of right now, but like, as a social media manager, strategist, visibility coach, whatever, I literally would bet that in the next year, Instagram, because Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same person, so I would bet that they're going to start working on Facebook, which would be really cool. But for right now, they just don't. So just keep that in mind. All right, myth number 9. You can add hashtags to old posts or quote unquote whenever you want. Okay, this is false. So kind of the reason that I told you just to go delete hashtags instead of, if you have a banned one, instead of like trying to edit them, is because hashtags are time stamped based on when the photo was posted. So if you posted a photo last week and you used a banned hashtag and you went and tried to edit them, it would show up, but it would show up for a week ago. So people would have to scroll a lot depending on how big the hashtag is to actually see it. So it doesn't really make any sense. So what I tell everybody is just to make sure that you have your list of safe and targeted niche hashtags ready to go and post in either the caption or the first comment ASAP. So like a little Instagram hot tip is the first hour to 24 hours is the most important and crucial for getting seen and taking advantage of the algorithm. So basically what this means is you want to capitalize on engagement as much as you can, especially within the first hour. So when you have your hashtags ready to go, what it does is it gives people an opportunity to engage with you right away so that you can start maximizing on that time. So I used this example earlier today when I was teaching this, and I thought it was really good, so I'll use it again. Imagine your Instagram like a, let's say you have 500 followers, okay? And it's like a 10-story building, and between each building, each floor is a glass ceiling. Instagram, the way the algorithm works is they don't show your stuff to everybody right away. That's why email lists are so important, because if you have 10,000 people on an email list and you send out an email, it's going to go to all 10,000 people. Of course, it's going to probably end up in some spam, but the majority of those people are going to get it in their inbox. Whereas if you have 10,000 followers on Instagram, they only tend to show your stuff in the beginning before you get any engagement to 5%. So it's a really small amount. And so the way I visualize it is when you do your post and you get your hashtags and they go out in the first hour, the more comments and likes that you have, basically, if you have a lot of engagement, Instagram sees your post as a valuable post. So you're able to break through the glass ceiling to level 2. And instead of just showing your stuff to 5%, Instagram might show your stuff to 10%. And then if you get more, and then like that's why you'll notice like as a post starts to get lots more stuff, it's like all of a sudden they're like steamrolling, right? And that's just because the more post engagement that you're getting, comments and likes, they both count, and your own comments. So when you respond to every effing comment you ever get, because it does count for yourself. But the more comments and stuff that you get and the more likes that you get, that's why it tends to snowball, because Instagram sees it as more and more valuable and it breaks through more and more glass ceilings. And before you know it, a ton of people have been able to see your stuff. So take advantage of the first hour. Like what I like to do is I have my hashtags ready, and then I engage with people in that first hour. Like right after I post, I go to this hashtags that I use and I engage with people. And when I say engage, not just scroll, tap, like, scroll, I'm talking leave genuine ass comments and really try to connect with people. Because what a lot of people do is they just scroll and, like, I don't even know about you, but I get likes on my photo. I don't even notice the people who like my stuff. I only pay attention to the comments. So, and I can always tell when it's a genuine comment of someone who wants to actually engage with me versus someone who's just trying to engage with me so I can go look back at their stuff. Or sometimes it comes across as a bot. So if you just comment a bunch of emojis, you can look like a bot, even if it is you. And that's such a waste of time. You don't want someone to think that you're a bot when you're actually taking the time out of your day to engage with them. So read their entire post, write real comments. And also, you know, I try, and I actually, in my membership site, I have an engagement class that's really good, but I encourage you to not engage with people who aren't your ideal clients. Like, don't just go comment on someone just to comment on someone. Look at their stuff. Do they already, have they already purchased what you sell? Or does it look like they'd be a fun person that you would really want to work with? Like, gauge the person before you even start to engage with them. All right, myth number 10. Oh man, a lot of hashtag myths. Okay, the myth is that you only need 30 to 60 hashtags each and every month for growth. So this is false. I see all the time people go and they make 1 or 2 or maybe 3 hashtag lists, and then they call it good. And they just copy and paste the same list over and over and over and over and over again. And there's a couple reasons that this is not good. One, because I was telling Marie the other day, you want to master the art of the scramble. Because what happens is when you copy and paste the exact same thing, just like when you, like, you know how on Instagram, on Facebook, because they're owned by the same person, so it's very similar. You know how on Facebook, if you post in like a group, comment below and I'll send you the link, and then you start commenting back the link, and if you comment the link too many times, too close together, you get banned from commenting. It's the exact same thing. If you comment the same hashtags too often, Instagram's going to think that you're just spamming people, because they don't know, because like I said, it's a bot, it's an algorithm that's paying attention to it. It's not a real life person with like a conscious brain. It's just an algorithm that's been set up to be told that if someone does this, make their stuff, you know, not be shown to as many people, because it could be spam, even though you're not trying to spam them. So when I say the art of the scramble, it's not only do you want to have a bunch of hashtags, but you also want to, instead of having like hashtags be in the same order, like take half these hashtags and paste them on the top, because it can look different. Like even on Facebook, just a little quick Facebook tip, if you're going to post in 3 groups on the same day, change up the picture and change up some of the words, because then it will show up as a completely different post. And instead of saying Courtney Sjoberg posted in 3 groups and show the same post and look like I'm spamming and just trying to get attention on myself, you'll never be able to see that, because I just switched up a couple different words. Same thing with hashtags. The best strategy for Instagram hashtags is to switch up your hashtags often. So I always recommend, if you post on average once per day, because that's what I like to do, you should be using at least 300 plus different hashtags each and every single month for optimized growth. Because here's the thing, the more hashtags that you use in relation to whatever it is that the people that you're trying to connect with, it's more groups of people to reach out to. So if you're using the same 30 or 60 hashtags, or maybe you're using 90, you're only able, because the thing with hashtags is a lot of people just hang out in the same hashtags, and then they maybe, you know, go in 6 months and they find a couple different ones. So if you're changing them up regularly, you're reaching new people on a regular basis, which is really important, because you want new, fresh, hot leads, not just the same people shoving the stuff in their face over and over and over again. So that's what I really recommend for as far as like how many hashtags you should be using each month. Yeah, follow hashtags. I love to follow hashtags. It's such a great way to engage with people, especially with hashtags that you really feel like your ideal client is hanging out in. All right, so I have just a couple more bonus tips. Okay. Number 1, don't just copy your competitors' hashtags or not necessarily your competitors, but even just your team leaders' hashtags, because you don't want to end up in the same place as everybody else. You want to end up in new places. You don't want, like I said, you don't want to attract other Beachbody coaches. You want to attract people who've never heard of Beachbody that would be really excited about the opportunity. And so a lot of times what people do is they go and they just copy everybody else's hashtags. They don't research them. And then before they know it, the only people who are liking their stuff is people who are already a part of another team. So that's really important. Like for me, I don't use hashtag Instagram expert or hashtag Facebook. I don't use any of that. I use boss babe hashtags. I use boss mom hashtags. I use blogger hashtags because those are my people. And a lot of times, you know, they know stuff about social media, but they don't, like, I don't want another person who's selling Instagram stuff who thinks they know everything, because that's not my ideal client. She can handle her stuff on her own. Also think outside the box when choosing your hashtags and where your ideal client might be hanging out. A lot of times, like I said, so many people in my industry specifically are just like using marketing hashtags. And it's like, do you want to attract marketing people or do you want to attract business owners? Like I want to attract business owners. So think about, you know, where they're hanging out, and then also think about who's your ideal client and what time are they online. So like if your ideal client's a mom, she's probably online a lot at nap time. So whatever that time is in your time zone, post at that time. So that's a really good way to like tap into when they're online. Because if your ideal client's a mom and you're posting at 10 p.m., she is asleep because she's trying to sleep because she knows they're going to get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and she needs to get some rest. It's really funny because when I first started, I'm not a mom, I'm a dog mom, but because I was a nanny, I would always post at nap time because that's when I was having my break. And so I attracted like a ton of, like I have a huge mom following, and I never put it together until recently because obviously they were all online at the same time I was, because I basically was a paid version of a mom. I just got to sleep all night. Experiment with your hashtags, especially in your bio and your stories. I like to use one hashtag per like Instagram story. Don't fill your bio with a bunch of hashtags because it really doesn't do you any good. It just looks spammy. I mean, just think about when you see a bunch of people just shoving hashtags everywhere. It doesn't really come across as authentic and genuine. Test. Don't get caught up in, like, I see a lot of people, they get caught up in like, this is working, and they stick with that. They're so like dedicated to whatever routine that they're in on their social media. And then like an algorithm changes and it throws them off and they get like, so, you know, the frenzy. Algorithms are going to change. So be willing to adapt, be willing to test different things, and like, don't feel like it's the end of the world, because it's really not. Algorithms are actually developed to help you, not hurt you. And if you can change your mindset to that way, it will really be positive for you. Engage with others. For the love of God, please engage with others. It's called social media for a reason. Be social, and like, be really genuinely social. I comment on people's stuff all the time, but it's so easy to be genuine too, because if you just read their entire post, a lot of times people want you to engage with them. So they'll ask a question, answer the damn question. Like, it's really not that hard. I really do believe in sending DMs, cold DMs though. The way that I encourage my clients to engage with people in the DMs is watch their stories and reply. Watch their stories. Oh my God, that looks like so much fun. Oh, that dinner you made looks bomb. That's a really great way to open up the door and like build true relationships with people without feeling spammy. And honestly, some of the best relationships I've ever developed all went down in the DMs. So, but only when I was trying to be genuine and I legitimately just wanted to get to know them. And then before you know it, they're asking me what I do. And also, if you're reaching out to people who, like I said, you're looking at their stuff, and if you think that they would genuinely connect with you and would want to work with you, then send them stuff. Don't just send something to somebody because you want to work with them, but they might not actually want to work with you. And then the biggest thing that I've been preaching lately is that Instagram has technically 7 parts. So we have mindset, oh my God, I was trying to say this earlier. I need to write this down or memorize it in like a certain order because I was like, couldn't remember. There's mindset, your feed, or like your profile and your bio. You have photos, you have hashtags, you have captions, you have engagement, and you have stories. Whew, I remembered them all. If you're just focusing on photos and captions, that's 2 out of 7. That's an F. So if you feel like you're not getting the most out of your Instagram, you have to step it up on the other stuff. Update your bio. Try to take better pictures. Get better hashtags. When it comes to the caption, my favorite thing that I've been telling people lately is think of your caption, especially the first 1 to 2 lines of your caption, like an email. If the subject title line on your email isn't juicy, someone's not going to open it. It's the same thing with Instagram, especially because so many people are watching stories now. You have to like really grab their attention right from the jump. So if you can make the first 1 to 2 lines because especially when they're scrolling through the feed, you know how it doesn't expand the whole caption. So if you write something real juicy in the 1 or 2 sentences up front, and they're scrolling and you can get them to stop in their tracks, they're going to open it, they're going to read all the way through, and then they're going to comment and like it, which is beneficial to you. So try to do that. And then what if you never had to worry about hashtags again? So I have a membership site. It's called the Hashtag File Society. And it's what I consider, Marie's a member, to be the ultimate Instagram and hashtag resource for growth. So the best thing about ours is that you will never use a banned hashtag or retired hashtag again. And currently we have over 6,000 different hashtags, which is like really blows my mind because I can't even fathom, like, I don't even know how I did all that research, but I totally did. I handpicked each and every single one of those. And our hashtags, they're different mainstream. I have a very different way that I do research, and I spend over 40 hours a month on my own researching these hashtags for you. We add new hashtags monthly in any category that you request for the most part. If it's not in there, which there's a lot in there, there's over 250 categories right now, we add it for you. And hashtags that go bad, as far as like getting retired or banned, we take them out and do the checking of the hashtags for you. And then we also have other trainings and master classes that will help you learn about Instagram and hashtags and all that fun stuff. That's a testimonial from Kelly. She's been a member since day one. It used to be called the She Social Society, but I have a podcast called the Hashtag Files, and so I changed it. You'll also have access to monthly posting ideas. We have a private Facebook group, and then I have monthly stock photos that you can use anywhere that you want for you to grow on Instagram. And if you want to use it on your website, if you have a website or Facebook, wherever you want to use them, they're for you to use. And you can get instant access to all of this and more. So what makes us different? So my team, like I said, we go through I'm not kidding. I have a team of, there's 6 interns I have. We go through every single hashtag every single month. No matter if we have 6,000 hashtags or 10,000 hashtags or 20,000 hashtags, we check every single one, because if they're retired or if they're banned, we want you to know about it. And we also spend hours finding high quality hashtags that will connect you directly with your clients so that you can grow on Instagram with, like I said, qualifying leads of the right people. There's over 250 categories and niches. And like I said, the best part is if, like, let's say you live somewhere and you want to use local hashtags because you're trying to connect with local people, and let's say it's not in the library, we have an easy little button. You press it, you type in what you want, and then magically on the first of the month, they're in the portal. And members get top priority for the research. And like I said, I work really hard. It's based around hashtags, but my goal is to help you have a positive mindset around social media and so much more than just hashtags. And it's only $35 a month, which is like the best part. I've had so many people tell me I should charge a lot more. But I want to keep this as a fun and affordable thing. So that's what it is. So it's $35, and there's no commitments. You don't have to sign on for longer than a month. You just wanted to try it. But if you do purchase a 6-month or 1-year membership, you save, instead of like, I think the 1 year, instead of it coming out to $35 a month, it comes to $25 a month, but you just pay up front. And then the best part, well, actually, no, just kidding. I'm ahead of myself. So these are just some success stories. Like my friend and client, Danielle, she signed 2 clients for $6,400 in her first week of her new business and Instagram with only 140 followers. Because I think that's the biggest thing is people think that you have to have a lot of followers to get a lot of clients, and that's not true. If you use good hashtags, and like I said, you master all the other 7 parts of Instagram, you're going to have results. It's just, I have literally hundreds of screenshots because the hashtags, they just work. That's the best way to explain it. I don't know. Without trying to like make myself sound bad. I struggled with that a lot, but now I know that this works, and I know that it helps people, so I don't have a problem selling it. So something else to consider. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because I can tell you're like, oh my God, I don't want to like brag on myself. Okay, there's a reason why I asked Courtney to speak on this call tonight, because I've been using her She Social Society or hashtag files, whatever it's called now.
You were there before it got changed.
I was there. I'm like OG now at this point.
Yeah, you are.
So I've been using her hashtag library for, I would say, a couple months now, and it saves me so much time. That is like, honestly, time is my most precious resource, and I don't have time to check 300 to 500 new hashtags every single month and put them into combinations. So when I just log into my membership portal, I pay whatever it is. It's like $45 Canadian. I pay that every month. I write it off as a business expense, and I've got access to these 6,000 different hashtags, and I have ones right in my niche. So like one of my niche hashtags is autoimmune anything, because I have an autoimmune disease. So I connect with women who also have an autoimmune disease. There's stuff for like meditation or crafting or poetry or being a mom.
Or whatever you could think of.
There's a lot of stuff in there. So anyways, Courtney is amazing. There's a reason why I asked you to do this call. She knows what she's talking about and is the real deal. So
thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, what you said, it's a tax write-off, which is like the coolest part, because all of you have legit businesses. Because I run into some people who don't have quote unquote legit businesses yet. I don't judge. I was there forever. But hiring a VA or a social media manager to do this research for you is going to cost about $500 a month minimum. At my peak, when I was a social media manager, I was charging upwards of $5,000 a month for one client. So for $35, obviously, that's a big difference. And it's cool. It's super easy to use. You can access it anywhere that you have Wi-Fi, and it could be on your phone, on your computer. And that's the biggest thing is what I tell people is it's a time thing too. It's like, instead of you sitting there trying to be frustrated and come up with all these different hashtags, you just log in and copy and paste. It's super easy. I even just made a new training that shows you how to scramble them because people are asking. So I wanted to make it as easy as I possibly could. Just some more client results. On the left-hand side, all those arrows in that particular hashtag, they're all hashtag files members. I mean, I've literally just had so many people have so much success, and it's fun. I just love it. It's fun. But I did put together a fun little bonus. So I'm 100 members, which I'm legitimately like so excited about. So I think there's 11. We have 89. I have it written on my trusty whiteboard. There's 89 members. So I have 11 spots left. So I decided that I'm going to give away a free Instagram audit, which is valued at $500 for any person from now until we hit 100 that signs up for either a 6-month or a 1 year. So if you pick either of those, I will literally go to your Instagram and I will do like a full deep dive. And if you join for $35, you won't get it, but you'll still get everything else. It's amazing. But if you join for 6 months or a year, I will go and do that for you, and I'll send it to you, and you can ask me all the questions personally about your Instagram. Marie and I have come up with a link. It's just bit.ly/MB #files. And if you go there and you sign up, as soon as you sign up, either for 6 months or a year, I will know, and I'll send you a message, and we'll be able to get you that audit. But that's only until we get up to 100. So like I said, there's 11 spots left. So that's really exciting. I'm super excited. So I'm going to look at, because I see there's some chats. So if you guys have any questions, you can type them in the chat, or you can, I'm an open book, whatever you guys. Yep, perfect. Good job putting it in. So yeah, if you guys have questions, I hope you guys learned something new. That was a lot of information, so sorry if I overwhelmed you. But I think you recorded it, right? So they could see it again if they want. Sometimes it's nice to go through it again.
One of the things I would say that is so beneficial about like having you speak about this is that for so many people on this call, I know they're looking at this and they're just like, okay. I thought I knew Instagram and I didn't know shit. Because that's what I felt when I first found your stuff. I was like, I thought I knew what I was doing. I was going hashtag wellness, hashtag clean eating, hashtag. I didn't know. And I was like, here's 16 hashtags. I don't want to put more than that because that looks weird to me. But just learning how to use them. And then now through your teaching, so I implement these 30 hashtags on every single post. And I'm getting better at doing the combining. That's the part that I'm learning now, is combining your hashtags. But it just having somebody who it's already their zone of genius. They already do that thing and know that thing. To me, that is so valuable. And I would rather spend some money every month and invest some money into not having to take the time and learn how to do this myself, when I can just be like, yo, Court, can you help me out here? Just like if I wanted to get my lashes done, I would go and pay a lash tech. When somebody comes to us and they're like, hey, I want you to help me with my health and wellness, we're like, sweet, you have to buy your program pack. Like, you have to have a little skin in the game in order to receive the service. So anyways, I'm super grateful for what you do. It's helped me a ton. It saved me a lot of time. Yay. So I'm a believer.
Yay. Thank you. I love you. So yeah, schedulers. I love Onlypult, ONLYP as in Paul, ULT. So it's kind of like a little social media manager one that no one really talks about. But I love that one because one, it's the only scheduler that I know that allows you to upload video. Because I love doing like 1 minute videos instead of an actual picture. I like I said, I test everything. I've tried it all because I wanted to be a guinea pig so I could tell you guys like the real deal shit. And then it also allows you to schedule comments, so you could have all your hashtags go in the first comment so it doesn't look so cluttered. So that one's really cool. And then the other one that I like, or I've been loving lately, that's for multiple platforms, is called SmarterQ. SmarterQ is dope because you can schedule stuff and then you can queue it. So if you get 3 months worth of content, you can queue it to like reschedule itself. So it's like saves you a lot of time. It's really cool. So those are the two that I like the most. So Onlypult, here, I'll type it in, ONLYPULT.com. And it's actually like very reasonably priced. It's like maybe $15 a month at the most. SmarterQ is a little bit more, but that's because it does more. It's like a VA in a way. You're welcome, Julianne. Okay, let's see. Monthly, can you change to 6? Yeah, you can upgrade. You won't be able to get the Instagram audit, but you can upgrade at any time. You can upgrade anytime. Just send us a message. My boyfriend is the tech guy. I don't know how any of that works, but he knows how, so that's all that matters. But yeah, it's if you want to try it for a month and then you like it and you want to commit, that's totally fine. Whatever feels good for you.
There's another Instagram, not a schedule, I don't think, but like a planner. It's called Planoli.
That one's really good too.
That one's quite nice because you can plan stories, which is kind of neat. Like if you're that organized, obviously I'm not that organized all the time because
me neither.
I do hashtag all the things, but that one's fun because if you do want to plan some hashtags, you can, or plan some stories as well as your feed.
That's cool. Yeah, I know. Then there's like later. There's like so many. There's Tailwind. It's, to me, it just kind of comes down to preference. But yeah, I've tried a bunch of different ones. As of right now, I haven't been scheduling because I'm lazy.
What would you say, Courtney, for, so say after this call, girls jump off and they're like, okay, sweet, I want to do this hashtag files membership for a month and try it out and see how it goes. What would you say to them when they get into that hashtag library and they're overwhelmed with how many hashtags? Like, what would be best advice for them to like putting together your hashtags?
Yeah, so I actually just made a training. It's called Making Your First List or something like that. I don't remember what I named it. I created that because of that, because I actually check to see how many people, like I know the people who've never logged in, who signed up, because unfortunately there's people who do that. And I don't like that because I don't want to just take your money. I want you to get the value. But I always pay attention to like what people are doing so I can kind of gauge what they need help with. But yeah, there's, and I'm actually going to be updating and adding a couple new trainings in the next couple of weeks. That's going to be really focused on new members to get them started. But I have a start here button. So right when you log in and you go to the main page, there's a start here button with a checklist. And on the checklist, it tells you everything that you should do. And it even has like, make sure your profile is public on there, because I added that because of that one girl that messaged me. And so, yeah, what I would say is, there's there's a training in there for who your ideal client is, which can really start to help you think about, like you said, autoimmune and like different stuff that your ideal client might be. Because a lot of people just think, oh, I'm in health and wellness, or I'm in social media, I'm only going to use those kind of hashtags, when really like, to be honest, a lot of my clients look at dog hashtags because that's where I hang out all the time. So getting into that space. And if you just go through the checklist and you sign up and do all the things on the checklist, you should be fine. And then if you ever feel overwhelmed too, like the Facebook group is there for me to support you however I can too. That's one of my favorite parts, is any questions that you have, I'm in there all the time. And I used to go live in there a lot, but Instagram or Facebook is being weird. I'm trying to work with them to figure out why my lives aren't working. But as soon as we get that fixed, we will be going live. Amanda asked, do hashtags work in your stories? Yes, they definitely work in your stories. I always say to use one, because again, you don't want to like overwhelm people with like a bajillion different hashtags. I only use one, but what I'll do is, like, if I'm doing a story that's like me talking for 5 stories in a row, I'll use one, but I'll use one different one on each one sometimes, or sometimes I'll use the same one on each time. I mean, whatever feels good. So that's what I do. I'm embarrassed to admit this. Don't be embarrassed, so your hashtag should describe you as a person as opposed to your photo. That's what it comes down to testing. So I've tested all of it. I've tested both that and the photo. I mean, obviously you don't want to like be complete, like with the dog ones. If I'm going to use a dog one, I use it when I actually post a picture of my dog. I don't use that for like anything else. But it comes down to testing. But definitely, I mean, with you guys, because I have all kinds of health hashtags. I mean, literally, there's so many, and I add, like I said, more every single month. But it comes down to thinking about your ideal client. What hashtags are they actually hanging out in? What kind of content do they actually want? And then testing different things. So you can see what is working and what's not, because what works for my profile is not always going to work for yours. As far as like which hashtags to use, you have to test different things in order to kind of find that sweet spot for yourself.
And you know what, Court, too, I just did your ideal client webinar with the workbook that you.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That workbook's like intense.
Oh, but I know. I had it, you know, when you like have a billion tabs up on your computer and then anyways, I had too many tabs open in my brain and I was like on the brink of like exploding. So I had to do it so I could close at the tab. And I did it and it was fantastic. But one of the things I loved so much is you reminded me that your ideal client, you have to think about what problem you're solving for them. And that helps me so much when I'm crafting posts, because I'm like, hey, wait, what problem am I solving for this person? You know, my ideal client is me 3.5 years ago when I was a broke, anxious, IBS-ridden teacher who didn't know what she wanted to do with her career or her life. So like I try to speak to that person, and the questions that you had in that workbook were so gold. So just know that.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to, is like tapping into that mental space of who they are, where they're at, and connecting with them on that level.
Am I? Does the link
is it not working? Well, I thought that because when I clicked on it, it was working. And then I thought I just got a new sign up, but it could have been from somebody else.
Yeah, I went to it and it says you can pay with credit card or PayPal.
Uh-huh.
And I want to pay with credit card, but it's not allowing me to put anything in, and then I said, okay, PayPal, and it wasn't allowing me to do anything
Oh
either.
no. Tech guy.
Didn't know if anyone else was.
When they're going right now, they're trying credit card, and it says that it's not working. And then they tried to click PayPal, and it says not working with the affiliate link. Is there something you need to click on your end? Okay, we're gonna get this fixed within like the next half an hour. Joe will fix it. Sorry, you guys.
I can send them. I can
This is
send
how it
that.
always happens.
I can send that link once it's updated. I'll just post it in the group for everybody.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, it should be. I don't know what's going on, but if anybody knows how to fix it, we're in the right company.
Danny says, I had no issues. Maybe just try again. Okay, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I saw that somebody else signed up, so I have like a bunch of emails coming in right now.
Okay, I'll try again.
Earned, Marie. So it should work.
Okay, thanks.
But if it doesn't, send us you can also support at shesocial.co. Joe can help you too. Like, just let me know. Like, we're here to help as much as we possibly can.
Courtney, I was gonna say, does anybody have any other questions? I just realized that you've been on here for an hour and 15.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I could talk about this stuff all day long.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Like
Of
I
course.
appreciate you. I appreciate how you show up and what you do. And something that is so it's so important to me, showing up with integrity and authenticity in my business and teaching my team to do the same. And I see a lot of coaches in the network, and there is no judgment, but I see a lot of coaches who rely on paid for services to gain followers. And to me, I just see that as a non-sustainable, for lack of better words, waste of money, because if you're not learning the skill, you are not teaching somebody how to fish, right? So
True.
What you've done for me is helped me to actually better understand my own daily use of Instagram, and you make it more fun, because when you understand shit, it's more fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's my thing, is like, so many people are stressed out by Instagram. I want it to be fun, because I think it's fun. And I'm like, I want everybody else to feel this way. I don't want them to show up and feel overwhelmed. But I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of hashtags in there, so you might feel overwhelmed. So just take a breather, okay? Take a breather, and just know the reason that there's a lot of hashtags in there is not to overwhelm you. It's because there's a lot of different people with a lot of different businesses. That's what it comes down to.
Awesome.
So, oh, yay. Well, I am so happy to be here. I appreciate you guys. And if you guys have any questions, like, I'm an open book, feel free to send me a message. If the link's not working for some of you specifically, just like I said, hello@shesocial.co or support at, we'll figure it out.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Court, and thank you, everybody. I'll post the recording as soon as it's up.
Thank you.
Take care, you guys.
Bye.